This is the best episode of Dragon Ball Daima by far. We see Goku go absolutely hot dog goblin mode and destroys a demon army. And we also get the best character introduction of all time. The GOAT of Daima is here. I will explain everything that happened so far in episode 5 and then give you some of my thoughts and feelings by the end of the video. So here's exactly what happened in the latest episode of Dragon Ball Daima. The little bandit from the last episode is revealed to be Pansy. She decided to tag along with Goku and the gang, and we get some hilarious back and forth with her and Goku. We cut to the Gendarmerie, aka King Gomah's army, who are now on a mission to track down the spiky haired kid with the red stick. I love the interaction with Pansy and Goku making fun of each other's names. Goku even acknowledging his Saiyan name Kakarot. I don't think he's ever done that before. It was cool for me. We learn that every Majin, aka demon, is able to use at least one supernatural ability. Goku can touch his nose with his tongue. I guess that makes me a Majin. Pansy can make rock float. We find out that she is a bit of a mechanic, a machine tinkerer. That information will come into play later on in this episode. We get a bit more info about the Glin race, which Supreme Kai and Degesu hailed from. Apparently most of the Glin race left the demon realm long ago. So what is that Degesu doing here? Questions to be answered. Pretty gag heavy in the beginning of this episode, and I'm just a sucker for characters getting each other's names wrong. I don't know why, I just find it hilarious. Every time Goku gets Glorio's name wrong, it makes me laugh. And I don't think Goku has said Glorio's name correctly once since he showed up. After all that, we get even more demon lore bars. We get mention of the old demon king Deborah once again, who we are all familiar with. Pansy mentions that Deborah was pretty bad as a ruler, but still better than Gomah, which actually confused me a little bit, because I believe that he was actually meant to be a good character, and he was only evil because of Barbi's spell. Comment below if that made sense to you, because I might just be misremembering things, but that was confusing. We also find out that the average lifespan of a demon is 1,000 years old, and that Pansy is 82 years old. Nothing more typical than anime making a young looking character old as am I right? After a bit of exposition and a travel montage, Goku and the gang make it to Kanden Castle. Bit of a shite looking castle if you ask me. We then cut to little baby Green in a crib for story time. A funny scene of Gomah criticizing the demon nanny for her story time telling abilities. His plan is to raise baby Dende so he can eventually make some new Dragon Balls for the demon realm. That's the entire scene, very randomly placed in this episode. We then find out that Pansy is actually a princess. Oh my god. Pansy is the princess of Kanden Castle, daughter of a scary mafia-like king who is absolutely shite at demon golf, as he misses this part entirely, destroying his ceiling. Finally, we meet King Kanden face to face, and Glorio's mission was to find someone strong enough to defeat Majin Buu from the outside world, and therefore to defeat King Gomah, making King Kanden the next ruler. A hilarious moment with King Kanden telling Goku that if everything goes as planned, he can marry his daughter Pansy. But Goku mentions he already has a wife and kids, and they're like, what the f is going on in the outside world? King Kanden asks for a demonstration of Goku's power. Goku obliges and goes absolutely hot dog goblin mode, breakdancing and battering every demon in sight. This fight is pure fan service, as Goku wrecks everyone with ease. Finally, we get a glimpse of his Super Saiyan form. Although he uses it just for a second, it's enough to make the softest of nipples hard AF. It's safe to say that King Kanden was impressed. He then preps Goku and the gang for the rest of their journey with a new plane, food, etc. And also grants them new access through Warp Summer's mouth hole. And finally, the greatest character introduction of all time. Already my favorite character of the series by far, with only seconds of screen time. A young demon fella named Hybis. This Mudang looking motherfucker was just casually doing ballet lessons in the background for no reason at all. Just living life. He's already the best character. Hybis is the GOAT. He don't want to work, he don't want to do shit. All this sassy wants to do is go to a beauty parlor. Also, look at how stumpy he is. And best of all, he has the greatest theme song. He's tasked with getting the rest of the Z fighters to the demon realm, because the king said no one would be wary of him pretty much doing anything of importance. Genius. We also get a look at an interdimensional navigator, pretty much a pink Dragon Ball Raider. Pretty cool. Cut to a super random art style change while Mudang at the back is T-posing. Brilliant once again. Mudang is off to fetch who I am assuming to be Vegeta and Piccolo. Maybe Bulma will tag along, I don't know who else is coming. I reckon we will see Hyabus meeting up with him by the next episode, and we will be in for a hilarious interaction with him and Vegeta. Pansy tags along with Goku and the gang despite her father's objections, but she's a good mechanic that will be needed for their journey, as we will see shortly. Supreme Kai voices his suspicions of Glorio, as he is worried about his ulterior motives. However, Goku does not give a flying nimbus about them, and off they go to the next demon world, until the plane crashes, the end. And that is pretty much episode 5 of Dragon Ball Daima. So here are my thoughts. This was my favorite episode of the series so far. I really enjoyed the pacing of this episode. There weren't any boring parts of them bumping into random ass aliens for poorly animated fight scenes. And when they were just walking around, Pansy was dropping some good lore. And the dialogue this episode was very entertaining. And then boom, more new characters and more expanding on the demon realm. And little by little, the story is finally unfolding. We aren't just getting world building now, which I still very much like, but I feel like we are finally progressing the story. King Kandon is a fun character as well. I do think he will be the next Demon King by the end of the series, since he's like a Robin Hood type of character, steals from the rich and gives to the poor. Or I can also see Glorio doing some shady by the end and overthrowing him as well. And maybe by default making Pansy the new king / queen of the demon realm. Only because we've heard a lot of chat about the Demon King. There hasn't been any past demon queens that I've heard of. A possibility. Maybe too early to tell. It was great to get our first look at Super Saiyan Goku. About time. Animation starts kinda bad, but they did make up for it with some solid animation in the later half of the scene. And of course, making this episode goated was the introduction of Anime Mudang. What a fantastic introduction. I don't know if everyone likes this guy, but to me, this guy is the best. Just a fantastic introduction to a quirky, fun character. He is the embodiment of don't got time for that. It's just hilarious that the king says Hyabus should be the one tasked with picking up Vegeta and friends, because of course no one will suspect this dude of doing anything of value. Just a solid character, I'm hoping to see more of him. Just a great episode, very funny, classic Dragon Ball. Not really many negatives of this episode. The only bad thing, I didn't really enjoy this, that when finally Goku and the gang, they get a new ship, they're finally taken off, they're gonna get to the next demon world, demon realm or whatever, and then the plane crashes. And we're stuck here for a couple more episodes, I guess. But maybe there's still more story to tell in this part of the demon world. We shall see. The next episode does look pretty fun. But please let me know what you thought of this episode. What is Glorio up to? Supreme Kai is getting more and more unsettled by him by the minute. And what exactly is Pansy's role in this whole thing? And when will we finally see Hyabus turn into a Super Saiyan? Questions to be answered. Thanks for watching, bye bye.